Welcome to the PLL Flash by the LacrosseFlash.com. I'm your host, Tyson Geik. I'm joined by Austin Owens and Pat Gregoire. And gentlemen, here's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to give you each $1,000. I'm going to have $1,000 as well. And we have this money to spend on betting on PLL teams. So you can spend it whichever way you want. You could bet it across 4 teams if you really wanted to. But Austin, we'll get things started with you. I got $1,000 in my hand right now, tossing it to you. Who are you putting your money on heading up to the championship series?
You know, I like to live dangerously a little bit. So instead of splitting this up between the teams, why don't we just put it all on one? And I'm going to put it on the biggest dog of them all, the WATERDOGS. You know, plus 1,000. Why not? I mean, everyone's betting against them. The betting books are certainly betting against them. So why not? I mean, you've got this interesting scenario where they pretty much just pillaged Whipsnakes, the defending champions, took as much talent as they could. They got Zach Courier, who's pretty good at lacrosse last time I checked. And the biggest thing in net, I mean, they have this Matt DeLuca kid, 6'6". He's an absolute monster in the cage. And from what I've read, he's just a cat in there. He can move around and make all the saves, and he might win the starting job. So when you look at it, I mean, from top to bottom, they're being looked over, in my opinion, but they're one of the teams that could really take this championship.
Yeah, I'm still surprised at how low down the totem pole that they are based on the talent they have on this squad. You got Wes Berg, Kieran McArdle, who was taken in that expansion draft, Brody Merrill with plenty of experience. Just from top to bottom, this team looks really good. And if you're putting all your money on them, you could win big. What a story that would be in the championship series if this one expansion team came to take it all. So Pat, same deal for you. You've got $1,000 to spend. How are you spending it?
Well, the inner degenerate of myself right now is just foaming at the mouth with $1,000. It's a couple more units that I'm used to gambling, but I'm going to go $800 on the Chaos. And I mean, not only is this team stacked offensively, last year they had one of the best attack units with Miles Thompson, Connor Fields, and of course Josh Byrne. But now you add Curtis Dixon and Austin Stotts. That attack unit makes me want to take my pants off. I mean, it is unbelievable how much talent they have. They're stacked at midfield. They're very strong in the back end, and they arguably have the 2 best goaltenders on planet Earth with Blaze Reardon and Dylan #Trade Ward. So not only do they have all that going for them, they also have a chip on their shoulder. They think they're the underdogs, and they are at plus 600. I mean, those odds are incredible. I'm throwing 800 on there, and I'm throwing a little bit of a prayer. We already talked about the WATERDOGS, but at plus 1,000, I mean, come on, why not sprinkle a little bit? The WATERDOGS are the underdogs. Every game is a revenge game. Whatever cliches you want to throw out, whatever, that's fine. But this team is stacked. This team is ready to play. And they're not your average expansion team. They are going to be a legitimate contender.
Well, some great picks, Pat. I have to say that even before, when we were talking in the group chat, I pretty much agreed with you there. I think that you could see some money coming back your way. Now, I also have $1,000 to spend, and I've been sitting here trying to think of how to do that. It's pretty difficult. If you look at it across the board, heading up to the championship series, everything is very spread out. So I took some time, sat down, couldn't really make up my mind, but I really do like the Chaos. I've been vocal about that on Twitter and on social media. So I'm going to put $600 on them. That attack unit, like you said, Pat, is absolutely disgusting. Curtis Dixon is just so much fun to watch, and I think that he adds so much to this club. He could have been with them last year. Obviously, some things didn't work out, but this year he's going to be a force. Watch for that little spin move that we saw some videos of already just in practice. So I'm watching for that. Also, Dylan Ward, this guy knows how to win, can play at every level of lacrosse, and then you got Blaze Reardon too. So Pat, you know, great picks there with the Chaos. Here's the team that I like. And so I said 600 spent on the Chaos. I'm going to go $400 on the Atlas. And I like them because, well, they got 2 of the biggest names in lacrosse. Rob Pinnell, who came over to the PLL just this year. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch up front. Paul Rabel, obviously scary good. And then Constable coming in at number 2 in the entry draft. I'm going to have a close eye on him, a former All-American playing with Notre Dame there. Going to be
Go Irish.
A big part. I knew you'd like that, Pat. A big part of that midfield. And then, this team, I think, they've got a bit of a score to settle as well. Not many people picking them to be a winner at the moment. And I think that the payout could be pretty decent right there.
I mean, you can't really go wrong. I mean, all the odds, even when you look at right now, the Archers being plus 310. I mean, the Archers are obviously a stacked offensive unit. Watching some of their practice footage, obviously already it looks like Tom Schreiber is back to where we saw him a year ago before he got hurt and had a little bit of a shaky indoor season. But that team right there obviously looks like they're clicking. And even at plus 310, that's a pretty good little payout as well.
Talking on Archers as well, I mean, you got Grant Ament, the top pick in the college draft.
Yeah.
He's touted as one of the best passers in the world, and you bring him in, and he's going up with Marcus Holman and Will Manny, who finished both top 5 in scoring last season. I mean, that's a lethal unit when you add Schreiber back into it. That's just goals galore, you would think.
So, I mean, this is why I'm torn. Right down the middle. It's so hard to make just one pick, but I think I'm a chaos guy through and through. Gentlemen, we're looking forward to covering the Premier Lacrosse Championship Series, which takes off on Saturday. The game's going at 1 o'clock Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern for all those watching across the country. And we're going to be covering the entire series, so stay tuned for post-game analysis, interviews with coaches and players throughout. Thanks for tuning in.